This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, welcome to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
Well, it's only taken us how many years to get Dirt Dude in the building?
Yeah, we've heard his voice for years. We get to see his face and his mohawk in person today.
And I just wanted to squelch any rumors. Dirt Dude is still announcing at Barona, and I only just want to bring that up. But I want to know, where in the heck did the word Dirt Dude
I know.
come
It
from?
can't be on his birth certificate.
And he has his lovely wife with him as well.
Kathy's here.
So she's going to poke him periodically when he gets out of line.
Is this thing on? Mic working? Check,
Yeah.
check, check,
It's
check,
on.
check. Good? All right.
So do your thing. You're at the track. No, I'm only.
Welcome, race fans. How's everybody doing?
So where did you get that moniker of Dirt Dude?
It's because I call people dude a lot, I guess. And it just like always being in the dirt dude. And it's just one of those things that kind of stuck with me. And
Did you give it to yourself or did someone give it to you?
It's kind of like on the play.
The wife's over here pointing. Yeah.
Well, you know, everyone was calling like Danny Laskowski the dude, and I was like, oh, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
And then threw Dirt Dude in there too, and then after a while, I just stuck. Everyone calls me Dirt Dude. So
here's even a better question: how did you get into announcing?
Did
you go to school?
No, I actually had a friend, had a track. Bob Lee was starting Temecula Speedway.
Oh, I
and
know Bob Lee.
Yeah, before he passed, before everything, he's been a great character
And
for
it's
me.
that little track to the west of the 15.
It used to be there. It is now a water
Well,
storage
that's because
park.
that guy that sat up on top
Yeah,
of the
because
hill.
it was a soccer field, and that's where they did tractor pulls. They
Yeah.
did bull riding. It was a little small arena, and he was like, "Okay, well, they moved K-rail in there and everything. We're like, this is going to be a track. We're going to build a track here because everyone's going to Barona Speedway, and it kind of like had a falling out.
Yeah.
And then dwarf cars were splitting up because at the time there was like 3 different dwarf car divisions. Was COD was one of them, and then SCCRA or something like that. There's a couple of different dwarf car divisions. So they're like, okay, we're going to go pull our stuff and we're going to go start this here. So they actually threw me in as like, hey, can you be a pit announcer? I'm like, okay, because they already had the announcer. And like every time someone car was over, as soon as they were getting them rolled over, I'm like, all right, don't cuss.
Microphone
Yeah,
in the
Microphone,
Don't cuss.
Microphone in the
Oh
face.
my
Don't
gosh.
cuss, but I want you to let everyone. This is what I still tell everyone now. If I run up to your car, I don't really want to know what happened. I just want to let everyone in the stands know that you are okay.
Yeah.
Just the
Right.
biggest thing, because
First and foremost.
like I had problems with trying to blank on the name. Phil Confer
Yeah.
rolled his car, had a bad crash, and his mom was like freaking out in the
Yes.
stands, like she was like melting down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, your family's up there. They're worried about you. Just let them know you're okay. He
Right.
could barely remember his name because he got dinged
Bonked.
so
Yeah.
hard. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, the alarm keeps on going off in my head.
I guess it's time to get up.
Someone answer that door. I keep hearing the doorbell. And it's just, one of those things. But I just always want to make sure, sponsorship, make sure you get your sponsorship out there and make sure you let everyone know you're okay after
Those
an
are
accident.
2 good ones.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
when
keep
you
that
first
up.
started announcing up in Temecula, did you get the bug? Did it automatically bite you that you couldn't wait to do it again?
Before I've been racing my whole life. I mean,
Well, I'm
my
not
dad,
talking about racing. I'm talking about
I
announcing.
mean, I've been into the motorsports thing my whole life. Like I said, my dad had a sprint car. I remember going like Ascot, Speedway 117,
wow.
Manzanita, Santa Maria. We would do trips out of town to go to Santa Maria a lot,
Sure.
and then once in a while we'd go to Manzanita, which is no longer there anymore in Arizona. Ascot was a regular. We'd go to Ascot all the time, and then 117, he would throw asphalt tires on his sprint car, and we'd go down to Cajon Speedway sometimes.
Wow.
But I've never been a fan of asphalt. It's always been the dirt.
Yeah.
And for a while, I've always followed sprint cars, being a kid in high school and everything
Sure.
like that. And then I had a Class 7 truck for a while in off-road. and love that. I still love off road,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you don't have the the dollar sponsorship behind you. Off road is one of the most highest inputs with very little return.
For the bang for the buck.
Yes, like
Yeah.
you could win a race at say a score or something like that, and you might get your entry fee back, maybe double
Oh my
that.
gosh.
If you're lucky.
Oh my
If you're
gosh.
lucky. But if you have sponsors and everything like that, then it's all their dime on it.
And they pay you.
Yeah.
But getting that gig, that's uphill.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's 10,000 drivers out there, boys
Unless
and
you
girls.
stand out in the crowd, you have to be an amazing driver to be.
Well, that's what I'm
getting that.
telling our guest, David. He's 23, wants to get into radio and maybe all these different things. And I said, you got to come up with a different widget. It's got to be different than the next guy or girl, because how many people are doing YouTube cars? You'll love it. So I pull up. I was telling David, I pull up to a stoplight and I look next to me and there's a Heartland fire truck. I went, ooh, that'd be a great segment on Cruising with Dave Stahl. So I go to breakfast with the chief fire chief of Viejas. They're getting a brand new fire truck. The tribe is spending $750,000
Wow.
for a top of the line, all computer controlled. So we're going to do a cruising video. Who does a cruising video on a fire truck?
And,
Dave does.
That's right.
and funny thing, that's probably not the top of the line. That's probably mediocre
Yeah.
middle line
Yeah.
because the company I work for, $750,000 is just a baseline truck for us too, for our cleaning trucks.
Yeah. See, I would do a segment on your cleaning truck.
It's just like one of those things. It's
And
like
you know what? It's
the
because-
market anymore
but
for
because
everything.
nobody knows anything about your cleaning truck. And there's a group in town that, and I'll let you know when it comes out, and it's with little kids, and it's called Hands on the Truck, where they bring all these different big trucks down to, used to do it at Qualcomm, and bring all these little kids come in, and they crawl all over them like ants. Because you never know. Because you know what? When you were little, didn't you like a fire truck?
My dad actually worked in a couple of places like feed mills. So we had trucks. We always, and then actually someone the other day was talking to me about like, why do you have so much a background on mechanical stuff? I'm like, I grew up around mechanics.
Yeah.
I had a stepdad, I had a dad that were all mechanics. And I said, when I was growing up, I grew up in wrecking yards.
Me too.
We'd go through like every wreck car on the wrecking yard, just
Didn't you
looking for
love it?
stuff. Oh,
Didn't
God.
you love it?
Nowadays, you're not even allowed in a wrecking yard. You can't get past the desk or anything like that. I remember going back there and you're like crawling through these cars and the stacks are all rickety. And you're like, someone's going to die out here. It ain't going to be me.
I still go down. I pay my $2 or $3 at Ecology.
One of the few places, you still go out
and
there.
I just have a blast. And that's where I find all the parts for all my cars. All right, we got to take a quick break. You are listening to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
You are listening to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
You were going to have it on
You
the
go
Corona
ahead.
segment.
Hit it, girl.
The answer.
All right, so we've got Dirt Dude in the house. We're going to try to talk Dirt Dude into doing some input. He usually does it from home when he's working on his toolbox trays.
He's working on, are we allowed
Well,
to
he's
say
all
it?
done with that.
Is it a secret?
Well, yeah, but I don't think he's going to know. He's not going to know for a
He's
couple
working on
weeks.
his RC cars.
You have RC cars? You into RCs?
I got 5 RC cars right now, and well, they're gas powered, and I'm finding out everyone's getting out of gas, but I'm into gas,
What are they getting into? Electric?
electric. Everyone's doing
Oh,
batteries,
my
and I hate
gosh.
batteries because it's like you get 15 minutes to play, and then your car starts
That
to
can
die,
burn
and then
your
it's like,
house down, by the way.
yeah, the
No,
LiPo
really.
batteries and all that stuff.
Yeah, but see, I got an electric, took it out, and the dog jumped on it and ate it. So I don't, and I love RCs. Do you have a track?
No, I got a couple of like big off-road monster trucks, Traxxas monster trucks, and so I just picked one up, and well, our son-in-law is coming back from Japan, been
This is
stationed there
supposed
for a
to be
year and a half.
surprise, Dirt Dude.
Well, he's not going to know till
Okay.
by the time he gets.
Okay, so he can't hear unless he's listening
Okay.
online, which a lot of people do.
Podcast.
So-
Just saying.
If I add this clip in, he might catch it. But I
So
don't
do you
know.
add? You have a Gravedigger truck?
Oh no, it's just I like normal body style trucks.
Okay.
Nothing outrageous, crazy. But yeah, I just picked one up and I'm going all the way through it. It's a total like what you call it, frame off restoration. I stripped that thing all the way
like
down
I'm
to
doing
nothing.
with my race car.
Yes.
Right.
He's doing with his RC car.
So yeah, I've got 3 of them. We're going to be
How
going
come
to
you
the
don't have a
desert
track
pretty
in your
soon.
backyard?
Because it's grass.
Dig it up.
Oh, I'm just getting them ready because when we're going to go to the desert here, and
You'll
that's
take
a
it to the
perfect,
desert?
yeah, a perfect place.
Okay. All right. So, hey, Verona Speedway last weekend. We didn't get anybody to call in.
I tried to arrange something with
I know, but
the
it
new
Yeah.
announcer that's going to be helping us, or the new announcer that at the track, and I was surprised he didn't call in. And then this weekend, if you guys know, the swap meet was there.
I wanted
how
to talk
I
about
missed it because
that.
I had to do a segment at the Auto Museum.
Everyone said it went really good. And then
Did you go?
So
No, I sold my. So I had planned on going. I've
And
been
sell
pulling
your scales.
things. I had I had a bunch of stuff, and I sold them the night before. Yeah. So I called my dad. I'm all, save yourself the trip. I sold my big ticket, my scales, and a couple other things
Oh.
Friday night. So I saved myself the trip. I heard there were a lot of vendors. Not as many shoppers, but overall it was really good for the first one, and they might even do it again.
overall,
this
they said it was
season.
good. It was really good. I talked to Mark Rose.
Yeah. So
And
did
he
I.
was like, I said, how'd it go? He said, it went good. I'm like, so is it going to be like the same thing every year? We're going to try and do a swap meet? And he's like, well, Brent's talking about trying to do another one maybe at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what I
So
heard
what we
too.
need to do is let me know ahead of time, come to KUSI
Yes.
and promote it.
That's what I was thinking. I think the promotion, if you do KUSI,
Yeah.
and then you have your 12 to 1 o'clock, what's your segment?
What are you wiggling?
What is your segment at 12?
Oh, Yak Radio.
She
I
must be
thought you-
Italian because she talks with
Oh,
her
the
hands
off-road.
too.
The
The
off-road.
Off-Road Coalition. Have them talk about it because it was an off-road and race cars.
And
So
someone
I
else
think
is
just-
doing an off-road swap meet in San Marcos too, another race shop, and because Mark Rose was in that one too.
I
Well,
think
see, they
just more
need to let us
advertisement.
know, and I'm
Yeah.
happy.
But their idea is they're hoping that they can turn this into like the big three. Would be the nice thing.
Well, from a location point of view, you're right.
That's the
Uh,
hardest thing is our location.
Well, it's getting to your location. It's
well,
not that you don't have the property. It's just getting to your location.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that really kind of, I mean, that track being in where it's at, no one can really mess with us there.
But
like,
where
we
else,
have like
where else would you
we
do a
write
big
our
three?
law
Yeah,
up
but
there.
But where else would you do a big three? There's nothing left in San Diego.
Nothing
where-
that has that,
that-
parking advantage, that big of space.
Right.
Because the last place was Qualcomm, and that's gone.
It's gone.
And then if you do another sporting venue, but I mean, still like a sports arena. The
But you can't do that because the swap
Swap
meet.
meets there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the swap meets
But
here.
swap meet only takes up half that parking lot. But when they revamp that whole place and they take out all those parking lots to put in all the new housing developments
I
and
know.
shopping centers,
And then the only thing you got left, what's that? You're into music, the concerts down in National City, Chula Vista.
Oh, yeah, down in Chula Vista.
What is it called?
Is it a mattress thing now?
I don't know what it
it
is.
used to be Coors Amphitheater.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
Then it was a mattress or
Yeah,
a
but
sleep
see,
train.
but that's the only thing left that I'm aware of as far as a big, huge.
And that's not even that big.
Not
You have to
really.
start doing like high school stuff like that.
Yeah.
Find a high school, you can
What?
actually park there.
I actually think Verona's fine because the clientele, the clientele's more East County. The clientele doesn't mind, it's
Well,
not like a
people
bunch
came
of city
all the way
folks.
from Arizona for
Yeah.
Big Three.
Yeah.
They came from Nevada for the Big Three. It was like Hershey's of the West, but on a smaller scale.
So can we get back to my
Yes.
track now that
Yeah,
we
let's
get
we
back
just
to
veered
your
off
track.
into the whole thing and we
Oh,
have very little time left.
Okay. I
So-
had one more swap meet
Just
thing.
be quiet.
I had one more swap meet thing.
No, I wanted to know how everyone went this weekend because Kelly Weitzel was at Kokopah. I think she got
She
four.
I think
up and
Bryson
down.
won.
Bryson won.
Bryson won.
Brian Brown.
Fourth.
But
Broken.
with a
Broken front
and
end.
it was the right side too, which is pretty important when you're making circles.
You think?
It was broken like
The side
fourth
you lean
lap.
on, yeah.
Yeah,
The
fourth
shock
lap.
was like 90.
Yes.
And broken
he's-
A-arm,
Yep.
upper or lower? Broken, I think, upper A-arm, bench shock.
So the right wheel was just having its own mind.
Still wheeled that thing home for a fourth place.
Yeah.
And that guy was checking out in front because I got to see the live video. My friend Mike was there. Mike.
Thing.
No. Mike Thing
Oh.
was there with the modified, but our buddy there, our favorite fan from Verona Speedway, Mike Charlton, and he was doing it live. And I was like, that guy's checking out in front. And they're like, yeah, that's an 8-second lead he's got on everyone. That's a
Nice.
9-second lead. He's went through half the field already, lapped them down. And
Wow.
Brian still held on with that. And I was just amazed that I'm like, why is he just can't get that car to work? And then I read his
Yeah.
thing this morning. His report was like, broken front end, still got fourth. My thing was there. I don't know where he finished. And then go to Paris. Paris ran last night. Sprint cars, love sprint cars, one of my
know.
favorite. Shane Sexton was there. I didn't get to hear how he did last night. David Hunt was out at Kokopah.
Oh yeah, he got fourth.
Got
I
fourth.
think.
So I think good night for everyone that finished like in the fourth
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah.
Guess who's in studio next week?
Who?
Brian Brown.
You finally talked him into it?
Yes, yes,
He's not
yes.
at the river. He's not doing something
Today,
else.
This weekend he's doing both,
Yeah.
racing and river.
He took his boat and his car
Yeah.
to Kokopah.
You're kidding.
He's keeping his boys happy.
I think he left the car in the parking lot and then took the boat and he's going to come back and pick it up because he already posted launching the boat this morning in the river.
Yeah, yeah. He's all, I'm kind of busy this coming weekend, but I can make time for you next weekend.
Well, that's good. He's coming next
Yes.
weekend because we've been trying to get him in forever.
So, may I, Dirt Dude?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this was a surprise to me, but I'm glad the announcer's here so he can say the last name. Eric Ponies wins all the time. He's won 10 times in this car. Eric, you know he wins all the time.
Milcheski.
Yeah.
Milcheski.
Yeah, Milcheski. Eric, he wins all the time. If Dennis Taylor doesn't win, Eric wins.
Really?
Yesterday.
What's he drive?
The 88, I think. Is it the 88?
Is it a
That's the
dwarf
one
car?
that's for sale.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing.
Is it a
It's
dwarf
for
car?
sale. It's for
Pony.
sale.
Pony.
Oh, that pony stock.
Yeah.
And it wants $6,000 for it.
Yes,
It's
so
top of the line,
for
too.
the
That thing is-
spectators out there, anyone who wants to get into racing or wants to
I had
move
to
up to a
delete that
faster
post.
car, what?
I had to delete it.
What?
$6,000.
Too high?
Not a lot of money for a full-blown,
Yeah.
top of the line
Well,
race
so
car.
I asked him point blank, did you sell it to make time for your dwarf car? Because I know he has a dwarf car.
He has a dwarf
And what
car.
did he say? Brendan, can I have a drum roll?
Give me like 2 seconds here. Here we go.
Didn't cue that one.
Oh, that's me. Sorry. You want the actual one? All right, hold on.
Okay. He's going to start racing a dwarf car.
He already said that on his post.
But
And
he
nobody was
actually-
surprised.
He actually is selling the car. That's a step closer. He's probably tired of me harassing him.
I would love, I looked at that and I went, ooh.
Yeah. So
And then our next guest coming up, Wally Pancrest, won at Paris Auto
Yeah.
Speedway in a sprint car at 75.
well, age is just a number.
That's exactly right. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited.
That's cool. Hey, but Eric's car's for sale. And he said that his engine was built by Gary at GRC.
Yeah.
So, it's a good vehicle. So, anyone who's looking to get in, $6,000, seriously,
That's really
to get
cheap.
into racing?
Yeah, with
And-
turnkey.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else. That probably has some spares with it or parts with it too.
Really?
So
Do you have
it's gonna be
spares with a race car? Why would you have spares with a race car?
something that's usually left over? Not.
Yeah.
It might be usable, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows if it's wadded up or not. But no, I seen that online. I went,
I was surprised
dang.
because he's got to be having fun in it.
Yeah, he's been in that thing for a long time.
Yeah.
He actually kind of started out in that, and then did
He
very
threw
well.
his daughter in there, too.
Yeah, and then his brother. He has his brother that was
yes,
racing
he's
too.
racing too,
Yeah.
but a different vehicle.
So it's going to be one of those things everyone's going to have to pick their class. Like I said, the Sport Compact now is like the best place to
I
really
think
get
that's
in.
the best bang for your
That
buck
one needs
by
to be
far.
promoted. That's a good start.
Well, I mean, that's basically you can go at any wrecking yard or any tow yard, pick one up. Either a lean sale or something like that, because you're not worried about it. You're not going to smog it or anything like that.
No.
Knock all the glass out, put a cage in it, safety equipment,
Racing seat,
and you go racing.
a plastic bottle for the gas can
Yeah.
with a hose and a bungee cord.
Well, it could be worse than Demolition Derby. That's what they do
Oh.
in Demolition Derby.
First time I did a demo derby, nobody told me to take the fan off the front of the motor. First car I hit, right through the radiator. Perfect.
Oh boy.
And I still drove it till it threw up. Cadillac, 54. Not a scratch on it. Not a scratch
Going
on it.
into the race.
Didn't have a scratch on it. I put a battery in it and drove the you-know-what out of it.
Yeah, when you see these pro guys that do Demolition Derbies, they're like, "Yeah, I've rerouted. There's like a radiator
Dude,
in
don't
the
even
in the
start.
back seat, and then all the stuff they can
They
do."
make a lot of money. Because
Yeah.
back in the day when I was a kid, these guys would roll up with a car transporter with 6 demo cars, all black, all the same model car, and they just scooped up all the money and loaded back up on the trailer and went away. Hey, we got to take a break. This is FM 96.1. You can do it together.
That's what I'm saying.
AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks, welcome back to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
The segment brought to you by Certified Car Clinic, 11370 North Woodside Avenue. Dino in the house. Go down there and check it out. Whatever he works on, he can give you some backup info with his in-house dyno. Certified Car Clinic or certifiedcarcare.net. All right. It took us a while, but we got Dirt Dude in the house finally to talk about.
Nothing special about
Everything.
it. There's nothing special about it.
I mean, I have recognized. Mom, if you're listening, well, the moment we met was quite memorable. My mom and I have laughed about it for years.
The moment you met Dirt Dude?
Dirt Dude, yeah. But, I mean, everybody who's
Refresh
been
me on
racing
my
there
memory
for
because I'm
years-
ting was that when I got your name wrong the whole time?
Oh, no,
for a season, or
I don't even know if you have.
or was that at the banquet when I asked you to be part of this whole show?
No, the very, 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 very first day I ever showed up to the track, I must ask you a question, and you knew I was a rookie. And his face dropped because he's all what division, and I said dwarf car, and his face dropped.
Even farther.
And he took a long look at me, and I think in his head he was like, "She's not driving a dwarf car. What's this old lady doing out here?"
Yeah, but you didn't have
then,
your stripe back then.
But no. But yeah, I think you were beside yourself the first time we met. But then, thanks to you, that same day, I had qualified for the A main. I had no plans on racing it because it was the first time I've ever been out there with other cars. I was like, I'm just going to do the hot laps. That's all. And
Just going to get your feet wet.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get your feet wet.
And then it was like, okay, I'll just do, the heat race. And then I was ready to call it quits. And you're like, you qualified. You're racing.
you're
And my dad's
racing.
like, yes, you are. We did not come all the way out there. So thank you for that encouragement.
That was back with the old 2-car. Huh?
That was with the 2-car, yes.
Yeah, old
But
2.
anyway, sorry, that was what was going on in my head. What was supposed to
How
come
many
out
years ago was that?
2015. We met in early 2015. And so many of us know your voice, your face, because you come out into the pits. So it's good that you're here.
Yeah, and I'm glad I personally am glad that you're in the pits doing the interviews, because I think it takes a special person to be able to interview people that just
It takes a circus clown to
Well,
make it look good.
You could say that, but you know as well as I do.
A rodeo clown, I guess.
Because
It's not circus. This is rodeo.
You'll interview the winners and the losers. Right?
Well, yes. I just want basically all of our fans to have
An
the experience.
Exactly.
I don't want anyone to be like, oh, man, I just really wasn't feeling like I was, part of that show. I want everyone to be part of our show. Like I
Right.
said, for me, it's like me and 300 of my friends sitting on the couch watching racing, and we're just going back and forth talking
Kind of
about
like
it.
doing radio, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of like doing radio.
It's like doing everything, like working in my garage. It'd just be like 500 of my friends working in the garage. We're just hanging out.
And that's why it's so important, that we have you in the pits, because I think, and I learned that every big track I've ever been to has always had two announcers. They've always had the announcer, and they've had the pit announcer. And the announcer does the commercials and does the birthdays and does all the normal stuff. But the guy or girl in the pits gets to talk to the people that we want to hear from.
Well, doing it 20 years, it was like both sides of the fence.
Well, 'cause you were
it's
doing
just like,
double.
yeah, it's just one of those things. But then it's
And weren't you
it's
more
been
relaxed?
really personal to me. I mean, it's been like when I do an event, it's like like I said, it's me and my friends hanging
I
out.
know.
It's
And-
not like I'm working. It's not like it's
No,
a
I know.
chore.
I
It's
know.
it's easy for me just to be personable. Because
Because you're good at it. If you really want to come right down to the nuts and bolts.
I don't know.
of it.
I mean, that's just the way my style is. Like every announcer between Scott Delosio and
Tom McGrath.
Mickey Dale, Tom McGrath's been at our track. Everyone has a different style.
That's right.
They're different
Definitely.
approach. They're different, maybe their speed or anything like that, or the way that they do their things. Everyone does things, even from monster truck to doing other stuff that I've announced at. It's totally different.
But the key to being a good announcer is what you, Tom McGrath, Scott Delosio have, and that's the knowledge of the racers. Because if you don't have a knowledge of the racer, if when somebody comes up to you, win or lose, and if you don't know him from Adam, sure, you can get through it. I'm not saying you can't get through it, but you can always add that added flavor. Say they won a race 3 years ago and you were there, you knew it. You can say, well, this was a pretty good win, but that one 3 years ago, boy, was that one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's come back to bite me a couple of times because, like,
well, that's true too. Try doing radio.
Well, trying to think, 2 years ago, I was doing Del Mar Fair with monster trucks, and I made it up to Verona Speedway for one of our nights, and I had a guy that was announcing, on a blank, Brandon Jacina.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Jacina is calling the race for me. I went up there. One of my friends, Shane Sexton, had just got his first main event win in a pony stock, and I jumped in front of Brandon. I'm like, don't be pissed off about this, man. I'm going to go out there and interview this kid because I've seen him growing up his whole life.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this interview. Is that okay? I pretty much didn't say.
I don't think it was
asked his permission. I said, hey, I
him.
got to do this. And he goes, dude, that is messed up that you're going to cut in front of me. And when I'm working tonight, but he goes, I understand the whole deal.
So here's the mic.
Yeah. He's like, I understand the whole deal. I've been watching this kid from a mini dwarf to a junior sprint, to now he's running a 360 sprint.
Wow.
So he had his first main event win, and I got out there and I was like, gave him a big hug. I'm like, dude, it's great to see you. This is like, one of my kids just did it.
Exactly. And that's the key to an announcer. And, and I think, Verona would be just making a major mistake if they let that talent go out the door in the history, because you have a bucket load of fans out there. I am telling you. I mean, and I'm not saying that to blow smoke up your skirt because you don't look good in
What's
skirt.
cool, because I did look back on Facebook after our race, because my wife would be like, yeah, that's all he did all day was just like, what's everyone posting? What's everyone saying? And I had a lot of friends that were like, we miss you being there. What's going on? Why is Dude not there?
Yeah.
Is he retiring? And I haven't officially made anything yet or said anything. But, I hope that Mickey, is going to be the new person there and will be like, if his style is different than mine, you get used to his style and you get used to my style, and you still go on.
Just roll with the punches.
Scott Delosio told me this when I was talking to him, like when I first started getting announcing stuff like that. And he's like, you go to a race, the cars are there. There's no announcer. Does it mean you're not going to go back to that racetrack? Yeah, you're going to go back because whether the cars are there or not.
Yeah.
So now imagine if there's an announcer, great announcer, the best announcer in the world, but there's no cars. Would you go back to that track again? Because you're just going to go listen to the announcer? No, the announcer is part of the show, but not the show. And I always take that personally. Like, I am not the show. These racers out here are the show.
Well, there was a time when you go to Verona with a very inadequate sound system, and you're basically talking to yourself because you can't hear you in the pits. No different than if you want to challenge when they come back with the Burn Institute at Del Mar, you come out there and try to call the races.
I've tried to talk over monster trucks at Del Mar Fair, and I think I did.
You think?
I think I did. I was like shouting my voice out.
I was hoarse. I mean, my voice was destroyed.
But then when I was out there with the monster trucks, you're like, why are you talking when a monster truck's going? Because, there's that one chance someone might hear it, or, as soon as that motor stops, you want to make not turning your mic on and talking about it.
No.
They can throttle the pedal really quick.
Oh,
if you get something in between those two throttle shots, you might be able to get something.
And I do the same thing at the Burn Institute. They even came up and said to me, they go, why are you talking during the race? I go, because I'm announcing the race.
It's called play-by-play.
It's called play-by-play. And it's because of me. No offense. I don't care what anybody's listening to. I get so into it. I get so excited.
It is my release. So that
it's
basically
mine too.
When Mickey Dale was up there announcing the other night, I was behind him and I was actually like standing over his shoulder, like talking to him. I don't know if you heard me or not, but I was like, yeah, did you see that, man? Oh, man, look at that. Oh, yeah, he messed up that corner big time.
Yeah,
and it's
see?
I'm just doing that no matter what.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You just force a habit.
Yeah. Well, you just got to keep at it, and if something changes, something changes, You never know what comes down the road. You never know what opportunities that come up. That's the way you got to look at it.
Well, if worse comes worse, I know we're going to gel and we're going to make a great season out of this, and we'll see what happens for next season. And
exactly.
If not, but we'll make something work the whole time.
So when's the next race?
It's coming up.
Next weekend.
Yeah.
360 sprints and lawnmowers are going to be there. I think the schedule's on the website, BronaSpeedway.com. Also, the videos that we've been posting. So that's pretty cool. Webby's been doing a great job with that. And then Facebook,
Lawnmowers
too.
are going to be there?
Lawnmowers. It's been a while since we had lawnmowers.
I have a lawnmower in my yard.
Are
that I
you
need-
going to be there, Dave?
Yes, because I'm getting my truck back Tuesday.
And his little
I hear
go-kart.
this every
I got to
week.
get my little monkey.
Uh-huh.
And but I'm waiting for my truck to get back. So I've got the truck. I bought a ramp that you could drive up.
What happened to the van? I thought you were
No,
going to be
that's what
doing...
I got. But I had
He's-
it at the
he's
shop.
talking about.
Had to put axle seals in it. The rear brakes were wet with brake fluid.
Do you have any dogs due? Any
Why?
puppies going to be born?
Why?
Because
No,
that's why
he's
you
gonna
want
have-
to
no,
hear.
No, we're
Some
good.
excuse.
We're good. We're good. We're absolutely good.
Not
the
holding my
Roddies,
breath. I'll
the
be
Roddy-
happy if he shows up, but I'm not holding.
I may
my
even come.
breath.
I may come up Friday just to see you
Oh, yeah.
with your power steering. FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The
answer.
answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.